So let's continue. That's B part 3, miscellaneous topics in intrinsic geometry extended to extrinsic geometry, R3 or R4. And this example here is the lecture 8 is Lagrange transform of a function of two independent variables. F is dependent variable, x and y are the independent variable. Now, overview of the Lagrange transform. The Lagrange transform allows us to switch from a function of certain variables to a function of their conjugate variables. Attention, from the previous lecture, lecture 5a, 5b, and lecture 6, see, we treat the variable x and p as the conjugate. F of x, it has its conjugate, which is g of p, which is the Lagrange transform. Now, this then, their conjugate variables, the conjugated variables in this case are the slopes, like p of x, partial derivative with respect to x, partial f, derivative with respect to y. So, this case, to compute the g function of these new variables, px and py over here. Now, that's a procedure here. One, that compute first. Attention now, f must be given. So, compute the gradients. P of x, this partial derivative over here, p of y, this partial derivative. So, item 2, solve. Attention now. If it is possible to solve, we will obtain x function of p of x, and in this case, p of y, and this case, y is, this case, function of px and py, like it's written over here. So this is the inverse, if possible. When we obtain all these tools, just you plug into this formula over here. So, plug into this formula is item 3. G, attention now, G is the Lagrange transform of F, conjugate. Now, X, function of Px and Py, Px times Px, Y, function of Px and Py times Py, minus F of X, function of Px and Py, and Y, Py. Like exactly as we did on lecture 5a, 5b, and 6. 5a, 5b, and 6. You go there, study there, see this formula, and apply the extension. Now, the next, we can recover the function f of x and y through the inverse Lagrange transform. Now, you have to suppose that are given the Lagrange transform G. G is the Lagrange transform. On lectures 5a, 5b, and 5c, and 6, G is a function of P, f of x and g of p. Now I have this f of x and y, and g, a function of px and py. You see, that's important here. It's extension. Now, then I will do this using this formula. Now, to recover f of x and y, the inverse Lagrange transform is, you see, it's important. You just, I insist, look, for instance, in the lecture 6, you see how to obtain the f, to recover f of x there. Here is how to recover f of x and y. So x, px, attention now. Px is a function of x and y. Why? Because I solved, okay? I solved this partial derivative here for x. I solved this partial derivative here this by y. So that's, I plug here px, x and y, py, x and y, minus g, px, x and y, and py, x and y. Where x is just partial of g respect to px, y partial of g respect to py. On lecture 6, I have x is not partial, it's derivative of g with respect to p. You see there the analogy. It's quite easy. Then imply that px is a function of x and y, py is a function of y. Displayed in this formula over here. You see, this is the formula to recover f of x and y. Now, as I said, see example in lectures 5a, 5b, and 6 for f of x and g of p. And in the next lecture 8 for f of x and y and g of px and p. You see, I'll present here example just to clarify, you see, all this concept. And don't forget, our objective is Lagrange transform applied to Lagrangian to obtain Hamiltonian, and then relate to the Lie bracket. You see, that's our objective here.